weekday cup of the word. We're in Second Thessalonians chapter 2, and Paul's going to continue to deal with some of the misconceptions they have regarding the return of Jesus, Jesus' second coming. Now, in the first letter, he dealt with the fact that they seem to think that if you died before Jesus returned, you'd miss out. He says, no, that's not true. And then also, they kept trying to figure out what specific day Jesus would return, and Paul said, look, you can't know that. You got to be prepared whatever day it is. You just don't know when he's going to come back. Well, here in this chapter, in the Second Thessalonian letter, Paul's going to deal with the fact that they seem to, even though they understood at this point they didn't know what day he'd come back, they seem to still think he was for sure going to come back within their lifetime. And actually, because of that, they've done all sorts of things like quit their jobs and mooching off of other people and basically living unproductive lives. And so Paul's going to address in this chapter very pointedly, Jesus is not coming back until a bunch of things happen, and those things haven't happened yet. Primarily, he says he's not going to come back until the falling away, until people begin to fall away from the church. At this point, false teaching in the church was not that great. People were coming to Christ, and there was a lot of obedience of the gospel, but there weren't many divisions within the church. The only one we really read about is the circumcision issue. But Paul says there's going to come a great falling away, and he's going to talk about the revealing of the man of sin. Now, there's great debate over who the man of sin is, whether it's a person, whether it's just representative of an idea of sinfulness creeping into the church. Some people think it was Gnosticism, which was one of the early false teachings. Many people believe it to be the Roman Catholic Church, and the man of sin specifically is the Pope. There's a lot of connections that can be made there. But others will just say, well, the man of sin just is representing the idea of sin's going to creep into the body of Christ and cause all sorts of problems, false teaching and division. Regardless of which one it is, the concept remains that the Thessalonians need to understand a lot of things had to happen before Christ's return, and those things hadn't happened yet, and so what they needed to do was root themselves in the truth so that they were prepared for any apostasy and go back to living daily for Christ and not thinking, is it today? Is it today? Is it today? But to live every day faithfully, regardless of whether Jesus returned or not. Don't think it's going to be tomorrow. That's chapter 2. That's your daily cup. And we'll see you tomorrow.